Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is mentor Faiza Shaikh. Today going to start the new topic. New writer William Wordsworth, 1770 till 1850. This is period of the William Wordsworth. So, as you know, we going to study and going to tell you about the English literature and writer. They are very dominant in the English literature. So here going to start about and related to the William Wordsworth. Basically, William Wordsworth, he was son of John Wordsworth, attorney at the law, born at the Cockmouth in the Chamberlain on 7th April 1770. His parents died in his childhood and received only education at the village name is Hawkshead. He married his cousin Mary Hutchins. He was a normal middle class man. He served as sincere and secure distributor of the stamps, poet of literate 1843. He got the little and the grand old many of the English letters. He could see man through the nature's eyes, and he wrote about the nature and beauty of the nature. So there are so many works produced at that time. The main feature of his poetry, worship of the nature. He was pioneer of the romantic movement, which is also called the romantic revival too. Here are so many different words and he known about and related to poet of nature, pantheism, mysticisms, nature of ordinance, love of mankind, natures of a teacher, diction of the poetry, idealistic of the nature, literary work, the prelude, the lyrical ballads, the excursions, the reckless Lord Mia Spirit too. So here one of the biggest work going to discuss here lyrical ballads. Basically lyrical ballads, this is very famous literary work in jointly venture of the Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge. A collaboration of both of them in 1798, and lyrical ballads gave more vigorous energy to the romantic movement, even in romantic nature. The word lyrical is derived from the lyric, which means a song, subjective poetry, expressing feelings and thoughts too. Ballad is a famous of the genre of poetry. It is a song for singing with dance. In the ancient time, the ballads used to be the sung with the lively dance. It was great source of the entertainment for the people. But as we know that the ballad is objective poetry, the poet has some of the particular aim for the composing it. So here we can say that the lyrical ballad is the blend of the subjective objective poetry. Basically, Wordsworth wanted to uh, introduce a new H.W. Hurston remarkable work of the lyrical ballads. So it is one of the biggest work too. So further discuss here. Now discussing some characteristics of the Wordsworth poetry too. Basically kinds of poetry which should be force and free of the chain of anti-new classical poets and new classical ideas too. Lyrical ballads were published 1798. It was jointly written by Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge. The subjective and subject of the poetry should be the sublime, can be taken from the common life. Simple poetic dictions. All the poets' critic did not approve his simple poetic dictions too. Wordsworth wrote the preface to lyrical ballads in order to introduce his theory of the taking simple theme from the rustic life, which means village life. Through the preface, he also introduced to the common readers the simple poetic dictions too. He suggested the language of the poetry should be simple but not difficult to lyric and the lofty too. He wrote news, different kind of poetry, different uh, from the kind of poetry written by the new classical ideas, new classical school, which was popular at that time. Wordsworth took subjects of his poetry, incidents, and the situation from common life. His selection of language was rarely used to by the common man throughout the country of the imagination. Wordsworth wrote poetic dictions, not classical, but it was the simplicity of the poetic dictions, not gradually pompous language. He had a difference between the language of the poetry, prose, common words, not the bombastic, archaic, and obstacles words. Simple, emotional, and imaginative language, um, and also imaginations is stressed. Simplicity in the theme, talented. He was very treatment of the subject. Every news original poet to create the treat which is read enjoyed because all the poems were introduced and were produced by the feelings. His friend Coleridge wrote against the lyrical ballads. Coleridge points out that we can always not follow the theory of his simple poetic diction, and the subject of the poetry may be simple poetic diction. And the subject of the poetry may be the selected from the everywhere, but not necessarily from the rustic life. Coleridge wrote Biographia Literaria to deny to the poetic theory of the Wordsworth. Reader, had you in your mind such stones as silent through can bring. Oh, gentle reader, you would find a tell in everything Wordsworth. Here I am going to discuss some defects of the poetry of Wordsworth. There are so many defects. The integrity, inequality, excess of the egoism, thoughts of images are the great for the subject. He has not style Matthew Arnold, and he has not any point but to discuss the nature. So there are the many different uh, between the some defects of Wordsworth poetry. So at the end, I would like to say you will enjoy and learn this video and share with all of them. They are appearing in the English literature too. इजाज़त दीजिए अल्लाह हाफिज़.